Diwali, Delhi faced one of its worst air quality crises in recent years. While the ruling BJP blamed it on stubble burning in the neighbouring AAP-ruled Punjab, in reality, crop residue burning in the neighbouring states was merely a fourth of what it was over the last couple of years. Yet, the capital's air plunged to record lows, despite a Supreme Court order allowing only the so-called green crackers to be set off. That too within permissible time limits. On the ground, though, these rules were blatantly violated. By the morning after Diwali, the average PM 2.5 levels in Delhi reached unprecedented highs, far above the safe limit recommended by the World Health Organization. The national capital was enveloped in a dense, acrid smog, leaving residents gasping and coughing. And that continues till now. Meteorological conditions only made the situation worse. With temperatures dropping and wind speeds almost at a standstill, the toxic smoke remained trapped close to the ground, intensifying the crisis. Data from the Central Pollution Control Board confirms what Delhiites felt with their lungs. Diwali 2025 was one of the most polluted in the past 5 years.
This year, when we've seen the Supreme Court of India actually give its nod to green firecrackers in terms of looking at only blasting green firecrackers, only bursting those firecrackers for 2 days and just 3 hours in a day. And despite those directions and warning coming from the Supreme Court, we've seen those rules being flouted, the order of the Supreme Court being flouted. People like us have been saying that there's not much of a difference between green firecrackers and the normal firecrackers. By government's own admission, green firecrackers perhaps pollutes 30% or 35% less. Now, if you look at one that there's very difficult proposition to understand what is green firecrackers and what is not green firecrackers in terms of the regulation. The other is also in terms of quantity, because you're talking about less polluting. You're not talking about pollution-free firecrackers. So, on ground, if anyone who was in Delhi NCR, the chemical, the air quality index itself is a testimony to the fact that there was nothing called green firecrackers. It was just a green wash.
Experts confirm that much of this pollution is local from vehicles, dust, industries, and the festive use of firecrackers. Stubble burning, which often dominates headlines, contributed far less this year due to voluntary restrictions in neighboring states. Yet Delhi's air was suffocating. The so-called green firecrackers were officially touted to bring pollution down by 30 to 35%. But the reality on the ground told a different story. In Delhi NCR, the smoke, chemicals and acrid smell proved that green crackers were just a green wash. This is not just a festival time problem, it's a year-round crisis. Even without Diwali, Delhi's local pollution sources of transport, road dust, garbage burning and construction continue to release a steady load of toxic particles. And with winter settling in, temperature inversions trap these pollutants near the ground, creating a lethal cocktail of air that is especially dangerous for children, the elderly, and those with respiratory conditions.
The next 60 days is going to be extremely critical for the region. Also, very, very important thing to understand when we say that the wind speed is low, which means that pollution of Delhi NCR gets trapped in Delhi NCR. The pollution or the smog that we're talking about remains at very little above the ground, and that's a very, very big crisis. So this year is not going to be any different.
The implications are stark. Each festival, each firecracker, and each day of unchecked emissions chip away at public health. Life expectancy declines, pulmonary disorders rise, and millions suffer silently.
Both the central government as well as respective state governments and also the courts of our country understand that we will have to really leave no compromise when it comes to air quality governance. Green or non-green, I think right now when our entire city is in ICU when it comes to air quality, we cannot allow any deviant behavior or any form of violation, be it in the name of faith or economy or anything. I think we need to prioritize that the lungs of our children, or the lungs or right to life and good health or right to fresh air is a fundamental right, and that needs to be held at the top, and everything else is secondary. So we will have to have a comprehensive, coherent, collective and also a regional plan when it comes to air quality governance. We'll have to stop looking at firecrackers from the lens of a Hindu festival or a particular community and their right to pollute. As in, we need to really differentiate between somebody's right to serve toxic air to our children, that should be prioritized, or our right to breathe. Our children's right to breathe is a priority, or we should allow people to really burst firecrackers. Going forward, we need to understand that till the time we do not have an air quality which meets the standards of WHO, so something which is good, we shall not allow any deviant behavior in the name of joy. That joy that one individual has an implication, and that there is science that tells us that life expectancy in people living in Delhi NCR goes down by 10 to 12 years. As I said, every third child actually has asthma. As Lancet says that 1.5 million, which is 15 lakh people, die in India because of air pollution issues. So if air pollution is the biggest public health crisis that our country is facing, and a lot of that is in North India.
This Diwali's toxic haze is a warning that green crackers alone cannot save us. Delhi is in an air quality emergency, and the time for real action is now, because every festival, every spark, and every delay in change costs lives. Clean air is not a privilege, it's a right. And for Delhi's children, that right is already under siege.